Hello, 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 everyone. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. Hey,
Right.
world. Sharon J. Lawrence here, licensed clinical social worker and the host for 31 Days of Healthy Relationship Tips.
Yes.
We are going live every night in December from 8 to 8:30, helping people prepare to walk into 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because this is day 16.
Day
And
16.
I'm excited because I get to have somebody who's super special, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But I have Miss Janelle Perry with me, licensed mental health counselor.
Yes,
Hi,
yes. Hello, hello.
how are
Thank you so much for having
you?
me. I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I am good.
Good. It's day 16. You've been going strong.
Yes, we're
Every
halfway
night.
there. Every
Yeah,
night, every
yeah.
night. Yes, my
Every
bedtime is about 9:30.
night. Right after
Yes.
this.
So as soon
I
as
hear
this
that.
ends, I turn into a pumpkin.
I hear that.
So, all right. Let's get right to it, Janelle.
Sure.
Tell the people who you are, where you're located, and what it is that you do for a living.
Yes. Okay. So, as previously stated, my name is Janelle Perry. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in New York. So right now I have two jobs. One job I work for an agency. I work with individuals, adults only, who suffer from different psychiatric illnesses and mental illnesses such as schizophrenia. I have people who are bipolar, people who are dealing with personality disorders and such like. And then I recently opened my online counseling private practice by the name of My Holistic Wellness. And so I provide online counseling for the general population. These are not severely mentally ill individuals. I'm dealing with mostly depression, anxiety, relational
You're
issues,
freezing
favorite
up a
life
little
issues,
bit.
that sort of
You're
thing.
freezing up just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Can you
And
hear me?
yep, and come in a little bit closer to the mic, just so
Okay.
we can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Let
Yep.
me know if you can. Okay. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm doing right now.
Okay. And what
Yeah.
is the name of your company again, so that they can hear you? Because it was a little
Yes.
bit low.
Okay. It's My Holistic Wellness. So it's an online counseling practice. So we're doing messaging, we're doing phone, or video chat, something similar to this. So that's what we do. It's, I think, very convenient, very flexible, especially in this day and time, right? People are going back to work, so you don't have to worry about the commute. So that's my thing right now.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. For those of you that don't know about that whole messaging and video, that is the thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm
Telehealth.
yes, telehealth.
Mhm.
I'm a board certified telemental health provider, and I don't do the
Yeah.
phone messaging, but I do the virtual, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and that's a big deal. But thank
Definitely.
you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored, truly. You are doing
Thank you.
amazing things, and I'm so
Thank
happy to
you.
be here. Yes. I
Thank
want
you.
to be like you when I grow up.
Oh, you already are. You're better. And so what you guys don't know behind the scenes is that Janelle is my little cousin.
Yes.
And when I say little, I mean like little where I was in high school and I was at the house waiting when
Yes.
she
Yep.
came home from the hospital.
Yep.
And so she was one of my babies. And so
Yes.
to see her in this capacity is amazing to me.
Thank you.
Just to watch, and it's funny because we're doing the same work.
The same thing. The
Yes.
same thing.
And
I
so
think that's
it's
amazing.
funny. It
Yes.
is amazing.
Yes.
So I'm not going to get into it because I know I'll get all excited and then I might start crying or something. So I'm
Aw.
going to get myself together.
Yes.
Also to give you guys just an idea before we get into this. So names might change as we have a discussion because we both have
The
nicknames.
nicknames.
So if some
Yes.
stuff comes out by mistake, don't think that maybe
Disregard.
we had like some type of lapse in memory. No, it's just
It's the
names
closeness.
that we love each other with. Yeah. And so,
Yeah,
but we're going to try and keep it professional so that you can walk away with some amazing tips for 2020.
for
All
sure.
right. So you ready to do this, Janelle?
I'm ready. I'm
Let's
ready.
do it. So one of the things you talked to me about was that you wanted people to be able to learn more about the importance of community and support. Can you
Mhm.
tell me what that focus is all about?
For sure. So first of all, I just want to say how timely this topic is, right? The topic of friendship going into 2020, having the holidays right around the corner. I think this is such a important topic to talk about. And I hope that whoever is listening will go into 2020 with some tips, some practical tips that they can use, to develop and deepen their relationships and friendships. So I first want to really start out talking about the history of community, right? I feel like we kind of forget this, that if we were to go all the way back in the day, right, we were in villages, we were in tribes, right? We had communities, and in those communities, that was our way of survival, right? And God forbid, should you get kicked out of any of those villages or tribes, you have very low chances of survival.
Yeah.
And so I think we're hardwired, to need each other and to depend on each other. And we're in a society now where we boast a lot about being independent, and we boast a lot about being self-sufficient. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I do think that we look at it almost as a weakness. Should we say that we need each other, we need people, right? So I kind of just want to get back into that and just say how important it is to have community, to have people in your life, to have friends in your life in order for you to thrive. And although we may not necessarily need each other in that way anymore, right, where we're surviving in that sense, we do need each other to thrive, right? So if you are, if you want to be successful in this life, you have to have the people around you to uplift you and to encourage you, right? And if you don't have that, you do put yourself at risk, unfortunately, right? So I think one risk factor for developing things like depression is not having that support, right? Not having that person that you can go to should you have an issue, to say, hey, I'm going through this. I'm going through a hard time. I'm going through a challenge. And so you find yourself isolated and withdrawn a lot of the time. Right? So I kind of just wanted that's the main thing I just kind of wanted to bring across, that it's not a weakness to need people. We need each other. In order to thrive in this day and age. So that's sort of, what I was thinking.
That's a big one. I talk about that all the time. I just started teaching this year, and I'm teaching intro to sociology. And when I talk to the students about survival and, like you said, communities, I stress to them that communication and socialization is necessary for the survival of society. And they were like, well, you don't need anybody. No, you do need people, like you said. And so people often think, well, I'm grown, or I can do this on my own, or I don't need anybody. And the reality is that you're going to need someone.
Absolutely.
And so it may look different for many people, but you're right. Socialization is necessary.
Absolutely.
No one functions in a bubble. So I'm glad that you kind of said that, because the way you broke it down, even talking about the tribes and everything, if you get put out of the village, that's major. Where are you going in the woods?
Exactly. How are you going to survive?
Where are you going?
Your basic needs. Exactly.
Eventually, you're going to start, wanting to go back.
Exactly.
It gets lonely.
It does. And I really kind of wanted to even touch on that part too, about loneliness. I think we're in a culture where we're too quick to cut people off, right? I'm not saying that we should hold on to toxic or unhealthy relationships. Absolutely not, right? But I think we are too quick to do it, right? Without kind of resorting to other options, right? Can you reinvent the friendship maybe, right? Besides, automatically saying, that's it, I don't want to be friends with you. So a lot of times what happens is we cut people off, right? And then we don't fill that gap, right? We don't intentionally try to find other relationships. And then what ends up happening is that it leads to loneliness. I truly believe that right now we are in an epidemic of loneliness. Even though we seem so connected, right? We have social media, but I really feel like it's a false sense of connectedness, right? Hey, I know what's going on in that person's life because I see their stories, right? But that's not real connectedness. Are you carving out time to spend quality time with these people, with your so-called friends, right? How often are you going on outings? How often are you actually talking on the phone, right? And so I think that's very important. I think right now, especially on the holidays, it can be very lonely for a lot of people, and some people just really don't know what to do in the times of loneliness. They kind of just stay to themselves. They don't really know the practical tools to use, you know, to kind of get themselves out of that rut. So I kind of just want to maybe give some people some tips on what to do maybe when you are in that sense of loneliness and when you feel like maybe you don't have the community that you need. And I really do believe that it takes being intentional. There are plenty of resources that are out there, plenty of different communities that are out there that share the same goals and values as you do, right? There's churches, there's volunteer opportunities. I recently found something called My Social Calendar. And it's a way for people to actually meet. It's almost similar to like online dating, but it's like instead you can network, you can kind of find friends, and you're actually meeting up with people, right? Instead of just texting like or messaging with each other. So you're actually meeting up at a place, you're doing some sort of activity, and that's a really great way to bond with people, you know, to see them face to face.
That's really good. That reminds me of Meetup. And so, I have a couple of clients that I referred to Meetup, and what was interesting, I had one particular client who actually mentioned that they were an introvert, and I was like, well, let's type in groups for introverts, and groups for introverts actually came up.
They exist.
And they're like, wait, what? And I said, yeah, so you get to go to a group with people who don't want to go out just like you.
Exactly. So, you'd be surprised what's out there. That's the thing.
And that's the cool thing about it. Yeah. And they get to socialize, like you said. I'm going to actually use that as a resource. I did not know about that one, My Social Calendar.
MySocialCalendar.com.
But you said two things that I felt were profound. You used two statements. You said, we're in an epidemic of loneliness.
Yeah.
You also said that people fail to fill the gap. That one really stuck out because you look at friendships and when they get hurt or they get disappointed, you're right. They run that risk of not wanting to reconnect with a new friend for fear of failure, that relationship's not going to go well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. I actually just want to kind of to delve into a little bit about what it looks like to have an unhealthy friendship, right? I know it's a little off topic, but I know we're...
No, this is good. This is good. Thank you.
Yeah. What it looks like to have unhealthy or toxic relationships. But I do begin to hear that a lot. I don't know if you see the memes out there now. Everybody's talking about toxic relationships. So what does it really mean to have a toxic or be in a toxic relationship? And I would say, even with a personal experience, when you're hanging out with certain people and you're spending time with certain people, most of the time you can recognize that relationship is toxic when you leave feeling depleted, right, and drained, and not feeling uplifted or encouraged. And you in that moment, you kind of have to sit there and think, okay, how is this contributing to my life? Because when you really think about it, your friendships, your relationships are the most influential thing, right? If you're not where you want to be in your life, you have to check your circle. That's right. Take a look around. If you're not where you want to be in your life, take a look at the people that you're spending time with, right? Are these people who share the same goals as you? Are these people who are on the same journey as you, right? And if not, then you might have to reevaluate, right, who you have in your life, who you're spending that time with, because you are what your friends are, right? Yeah, like it can kind of rub off on you. So you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are going the same way that you go. You want to go up, you have to have people who you can aspire to be like.
They push you up.
Right? And that push you up. And if you don't have it, that's when you kind of have to sit down and kind of ask yourself, is this a relationship that's beneficial for me?
Yeah.
Right?
This is good. Good.
Yeah. No, I would also like just to kind of go into the idea of like people saying, oh, you've changed. I think anytime somebody, if a friend tells me that, right, and they make it seem like it's a bad thing, that's like a red flag, right? You've changed. I hope I did change, right? Like we should want to change.
That's right.
But a lot of times you'll get that friend, it's like a really demeaning thing. Oh, you've changed. And then you kind of feel guilty, right, for growing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a good sign. Healthy friendship. Right?
One of the things I did want you to kind of go into, and I'll kind of give a little the background around it.
Sure.
With that movement, like you said, the memes and the posts that people are making around toxic relationships and moving themselves, one of the things that I noticed that some people will do is that they're so focused on protecting themselves that they're in that moment of protecting themselves and being in their space that they end up not being good friends to the people who still need them.
Right.
And so how do you help that individual say, hey, there needs to be some balance just because you're protecting your space. Remember, you still want to make sure that you can be somewhat available to people when possible. Like, don't forget about people because you're in your space.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And you're right. We tend to do that because you're so focused on protecting yourself, right? And then it becomes an issue of trust, right? This is where like trust issues begin, right? And then it goes into, not wanting to be vulnerable, which is sort of like the meat of a friendship or any relationship, right? If you can't be vulnerable or open with the person that you're in a relationship or friendship with, then what is the use? So I think it takes consciousness. You have to be aware, right? And also, I think it's okay, and this is where boundaries come in, right? I don't think you always have to sort of lay your heart on put your heart on your sleeve or lay it out all on the table at first, right? But I think you can take it in steps, right? And I also believe that there's different categories of friendships, to be honest, right? There's some people that you can have a certain closeness with, right? And there are other friends that you kind of, I don't want to say keep them at a distance, but it's a different type of relationship. It's a different type of friendship.
It reminds me of last night. They talked about just like the difference of friendships and associates. But, even associates has different levels, and friendships, you're right, has different levels in terms of how much you engage or the level of quality or connectedness that you may have to a person.
Right. Absolutely. And I do believe in quality over quantity.
Yes.
Right. It's not about how many friends you have, it's about the quality of people that you have.
That's right.
But just to kind of go back to just, wanting to protect yourself, there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. You do have to. But I think something that we also don't look into when it comes to toxic relationships is looking at how we play a part in it. Right. So I came across this saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. Right. So what you're putting out, right, what you're kind of, the feels that you're putting out, the frequency that you're putting out into the world, you're attracting something, right? And so a lot of times when it comes to toxic relationships, you have to kind of think to yourself, well, what is it that I'm doing maybe in the relationship that's allowing this person to maybe feel so comfortable to do this to me, right? For instance, let's say you have a friend who constantly asks you for money, right? Is the problem really the person asking you for money, or is the problem the fact that you're not able to say no?
Right.
Yeah. So we kind of have to kind of look at it like, okay, what part am I playing? So I think in order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. And it really takes that self-reflection. You have to kind of look at yourself in the mirror and see, okay, what are the things that are in me, right? That maybe I'm producing that's attracting certain people into my life.
Yes.
Right. So I truly deeply believe in that. In order to be a good friend or to have good friends, you have to also be a good friend and you have to work on yourself.
Yeah. You have to model.
Yeah. You have to model. Absolutely.
Yeah. I said that on Sunday. I'm a co-host on a show, and we were talking about that. And the question to me was, what do you do? How do you help your friends respect the time that you set aside for you when they keep calling? Look, how do you get them to understand that? I said, well, you don't help your friends. It's about what it is you're going to do. So I said, the minute you answer the phone or respond to the text message, you've opened up the door. So in essence, you're treating people how to treat you. So when you chose in that moment not to prioritize your time, they also did not prioritize your time.
Exactly.
And so, I believe that it is about how you choose to respond in situations that will help them. I completely agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I think just to kind of piggyback off of that, I think communication, as we always hear, like communication is key. And it truly is. A lot of times the reasons why we don't get what we want or need in a relationship is because we haven't asked for it, right? We haven't asked for what we need.
Y'all got that? Y'all got that? Look, this may be recorded, but y'all got that? I'm like, say that again. Say that again, Nelly.
We don't ask for what we need. And two things can result from communicating, right? It's either you get what you want, or you realize, number two, that maybe the person doesn't have the capacity to give you what it is that you need, right? And either one is a message. Either one is a blessing.
Yes.
Right? Because it's you're now gaining knowledge and information about that person and what they can do for you and what role they play in your life.
So you have to help people see that, though, that it's a blessing. For people, when they don't get what they want, they see it as it's a disappointment, it's a letdown, it's a rejection. No, this person is showing you what they're capable of doing and what they're able to give you in that relationship. It's up to you how you choose to respond.
Exactly.
I hope y'all are getting this. I really do. I hope, and make sure you put hashtag replay something, because we need to hear from you. Write down your questions, write down your comments, because we're going to be going back through the thread to see who responded to this recording. This is good information. Miss Perry is sharing some nuggets with you. Like, y'all don't sleep on this. So, this is the one day where I'm like, I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit. I know my stuff, but it's amazing when I got my blood Zoom with me and she know her stuff. And it's like I'm listening to myself talk. I'm like, yes.
It's so true.
She is doing it.
True. Yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh my gosh.
I truly do.
Y'all don't know. I'm like, oh.
Air hug.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm so honored to be in this with you. But you got to tell the people, okay, so let's go into these tips more, because I'll get off on a tangent and start talking about cousin love, and then we start calling each other nicknames, and I'll just be on cloud nine, which I am already. But let's make sure we help the people, because we got some folks really listening, and I know they laughing at us and all, but they're like, yeah, give me the rest of the nuggets.
Yes.
They came for a 20 piece. We gave them about 10 pieces of the chicken nuggets already.
Yeah.
They need the rest. So let's talk about the tips. How do we help people walk into 2020 ready to function in a different capacity? One, to receive, and the other in terms of how to give.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a really good question. I think, for one, it takes people being intentional, right? It starts off with being aware. You have to be aware of yourself. You have to be aware of what you want.
Yes.
And you have to be intentional. So if going into 2020, you want better relationships, right? You want better friendships. Start with yourself, right? What is it that you can do, right, to cultivate that in your life, right? I like to treat friendships almost like dating, right? You meet a friend or you meet someone, ask them, what are your goals? Right? Where do you see yourself? Almost kind of like, you're dating. Where do you see yourself, and see if you can kind of find similarities and commonalities with that person. I also kind of want to just add this in too, when it comes to, so you have a relationship already, to deepen that relationship, making sure that you are spending time, carving out time with these people. Even if it's on a monthly basis. I know we're all adults, we all have different lives, right? Things are happening, but carve out, even if it's just monthly, right? Saying, hey, we're gonna maybe go out to dinner, or we're gonna do an activity at least once a month, right? So in 2020, if you want healthier relationships, you gotta be intentional, number one. Number two, practical steps. Say, hey, grab your friends. Monthly, I want us to go on an outing. Right? Monthly, I want us to, whatever it is, right? Do something like that. And because you'll be surprised that people don't prioritize socialization. But I tell my clients all the time, you need support, you need people. You got to be intentional. You have to make an effort, right? I feel like a lot of times people kind of want it to fall in their laps, but that's just not how it works. You have to do the work, and you have to make an effort. And if that's what you really want.
You're right. People don't want to do the work, but you have some people right now, they're hearing these tips and they're like, you know what, I need to do something different. So we're encouraging you all to do the work. And if it's any consolation, understand that we as clinicians, we do the work every day. It's not easy, but we do the work. And so it helps us to believe in what we're telling you or advising you or encouraging you to kind of connect to when you're trying to make changes in your lives. You know,
Absolutely.
We're not just saying it to be saying it. We do believe in what we're saying.
Absolutely. I try to practice it, myself. It's very important to me. I feel like when you have a stressful week, right, to say, hey, I'm going to hang out with some friends, I'm going to go on an outing, you just feel so much, you feel revived, you feel refreshed and rejuvenated. And so that's how important it is to me. And I hope that whoever's watching this, they begin to understand that it's not a weakness to need people, right? You need to, it's a strength, right? And if you want to be successful, start working on your relationships. Yeah.
Well, y'all heard it there. Miss Perry.
Yes.
Miss Janelle Perry, she said, start working on it now. There is strength. Basically, she said there's strength in relationships.
There is so much strength in relationships.
So do the work, be intentional.
Yes.
Don't be a part of the epidemic, and make sure that your vibe attracts your tribe.
The tribe. Absolutely.
Did I get it all?
That was, yep, on point.
Woo!
That was on point. Yes. Sharon. Yes.
Yeah. Got
Thank
a couple
you so
of
much
names.
for having me. I'm truly honored. Seriously. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yes, of course.
I am so honored, and I'm blessed to call you my cousin. I truly am.
All the feels.
Yes, all the feels, y'all. Y'all don't know. This is just amazing.
Yes.
And so we have come to the end of our chat. However, I want you guys to know how to connect with Janelle Perry. So, Janelle, tell the people how they can find you and if you have any upcoming events.
Okay, so I have a social media, I have Instagram, which is My Holistic Wellness. And then you can go to my website. That's how you can contact me. It's www.myholisticwellnessonline.com. Future events, I hope to do a TV show, online TV show. I can't remember exactly the name, but I hope to do that next year.
Okay.
And I mentioned the project I have in church that I'm doing with the families. Although that's not intended to the communities, just know that we're working on building the gap between teenagers and their parents, because that's a whole other topic, right? But you actually kind of covered in your previous session last week. But that's the same. That's what I'm kind of doing right now.
Awesome. Well, you guys got it. We're going to put all of this information in the comment section. And also, this video will also be uploaded to the YouTube channel. So My Sailor Wellness also has a YouTube channel, and you'll be able to download it and share it with people as well. So please remember to share with people so that they can be blessed walking into 2020.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Perry.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.